human validation is not even genuine, you know. Like they might tell you, oh, you're so pretty, you're so this, but then sometimes it's lying. So I think not all the time, but sometimes, which is why you shouldn't go out of your way to actually seek it, because it's not out there. Today I'll be talking to you about resisting things that think they can control us, things that feel like they have like control over you, things that not only are we working towards actually like resisting this, but we're going to war with it. We're battling it, okay? We are diminishing its control over our lives. And the topic for today is social anxiety. Now when I say social anxiety, I don't mean like medical social anxiety. I mean just that social anxiety that's just almost like but then yeah, if we can control it, then we take it by the horns and we work against it, right? So yes, story time. I used to be the most socially anxious person I knew, okay? But what's crazy is that like I didn't always be like this. It started because of so many life changes that I went through, right? Like I used to believe like I couldn't relate to other people. I used to be so outgoing as well, but then it stopped because I started to believe that like I wasn't like other people. I couldn't relate to them. What I knew about life and like my point of view about life was completely different. Like I couldn't fit in with the people I was like against, so I became anxious. And when I joined my new school, guys, so many changes and things happened. I felt like so alone because I just recently moved to a new country. Like originally I'm from Zimbabwe, and then we moved here to the UK, and I'm just thrown into this new school and I have to figure it out. When all my life I've lived with Zimbabwe, now I have to move here and I need to start like, whew, guys, it was so hard. But anyway, back to the story. I was so alone. I haven't got all my things together. I don't have friends. Everybody here was different from what I knew back in my country. The language was different, the way the dress was different, everything was different. And I was just this one girl who doesn't know anything, who's just, you know, it's actually so overwhelming when you're that kind of person who feels like they should have friends all the time, they should be out there, they should be, you know, and then you come to a place where no one is like you, you have nothing in common with anyone, and you have to actually like change yourself in order to fit in. And that is the problem. Having to change yourself in order to fit in is the problem, right? And like honestly, I was feeling all these things, and I was feeding them to myself day in, day out, that my mind and my consciousness started to believe these things. Yes, I started to believe that I was actually different. I was actually never gonna fit in, and I was anxious, and I'm anxious, I'm shy, and I started to walk inside the bathroom, legs shaking. Walk inside the bathroom, I'm on the verge of sweating because I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's looking at me, oh my hair, is it perfect, oh my days, my makeup, I should start putting on makeup because like all the girls here wear makeup. Back in my old school, no one wore makeup. All we did was lip gloss. All we did, like, if you're actually so mischievous, you take mascara and you put it on, okay? Because it was not allowed. We're not allowed to have nails. You're not allowed to put any type of makeup. All we did was lip gloss. Now come here, everyone has blush, everyone has mascara, everyone has like nice hairstyles, these nails. I'm like, oh my days, I thought this was the same as my old country, but it's not. Everyone here is different. Should I start wearing makeup? Should I change my style? Should I change like the way I'm wearing my uniform? So overwhelming. Oh, I remember those first days, and I was like, oh my gosh, God, only you can help me. I'm actually putting my social life in your hands right now because I can't do it. But after I told myself all these things, right, I didn't let it stop me. I didn't let it stop me from actually doing what I needed to do. Like subconsciously I knew that I had to make it happen, and I had to make it happen. I had to make friends. I had to talk to people. I had to get out of my comfort zone, and I needed to get rid of my social anxiety, and I needed to tell myself that no one was looking at me, because like, oh my days, I don't know what in our brain or what in our composition actually makes us think that everyone is always focused on us, and it makes us so anxious because it gives us the need to be perfect all the time, okay? And like, that is not a good thing. And yeah, so I went out of my way to make the friends I wanted, and it's actually crazy. I went from being this shy black girl who's a loner, who's new, whose accent is a bit weird and we don't understand what she's saying, to being that girl who can actually like laugh in the corridors, you know, and actually like talk to other people, and actually like just be as loud as I should, like be myself, and as I should, as you should, as everyone should. And I'm here to tell you how I did that step by step, because I actually reflected on it and I knew that other people needed to hear it. So here we go. So first thing that I did in order to actually reach the level of confidence I have now was loving myself. Honestly, you need to love yourself to actually realize that you don't need to look for validation everywhere you go, because the root of social anxiety is a crippling need for validation. So self-validation stems from self-love. And let me explain how this works. If you love yourself, loving yourself means you reassure yourself, because what do you do to someone you love? You reassure them, you make them feel comfortable, you're kind to them, you show them that you love them, right? Every time they go wrong, you correct them nicely because you love them. You want to see them doing good, you want them to feel good, you don't want them to be crying, to be anxious, to be, you know, like embarrassed. You want to try and make them feel good about themselves, right? So if you start to love yourself, you will start to validate yourself. You think good things about yourself, the positive things about you, and you won't feel the need to actually go out there and be the perfect person for people to see you and validate you so that you stop feeling anxious. You won't feel the need to actually think, oh my days, are they looking at me? Do I look like this? Because you love yourself, right? You won't let yourself feel that way because you've already told yourself that you are the way you are and it's okay. And like, yeah, everyone has their moments where they need validation, right? But when it's like now serious and it's not like actual social anxiety, self-endorsed by the way, it starts to come in as like a desire to fit in. You want to be accepted by people, but then who are you? Why do you, like, have you ever thought like, why do I actually want to fit in? Okay, if you don't fit in, people, the way we think about not fitting in is actually so deep, because we think that people are gonna treat us different, people are gonna be rude to us. But then honestly, like, from what I've seen, no one will be rude to you. People will be like, oh my days, they have their own personality, I actually like them. Because if you don't need to fit in and you do your thing, you have your own unique qualities that people actually see and be inspired by, right? Because there's no completely bad person. Even if you don't fit in with everyone else, you have your own good things about you that you're not copying from everyone else, and you're actually bringing something to the society, something different, something that could help, okay? Instead of just fitting in as another black sheep who's doing everything else that everyone else is doing, you have your own thing. You have something new to offer, and you have something that could change the way things are for other people. Okay, so you need to stop denying the person you are. You need to open up to this person and be able to share that person with other people, okay, instead of looking for validation, because that just leads you to become socially anxious, which is what we're trying to work against. I know cliche, everyone says it, but 300 years from now, is anyone going to remember you? 300 years from now, is anyone going to know your name? Maybe if you make it, if you become like popular, if you become like a president, a leader, maybe someone's gonna remember you. But then everyone you're seeing and you and everything, you're gonna be gone, okay? And it's something we need to actually come to terms with and actually realize, because it's gonna be gone. So do the things you want to do right now when you still can. If you can't self-validate, you need to remember that even like God values you, okay? He values you so much. And even if you can self-validate, you still need to realize that God values you. That's why he made you. That's why after he made 8 billion people and everyone before that and all the trees and everything, he decided that you needed to be there too, because he values you enough to put you in his creation. Sometimes human validation is not even genuine, you know? Like, they might tell you, oh, you're so pretty, you're so this, but then sometimes it's lying. So I think, not all the time, but sometimes, which is why you shouldn't go out of your way to actually seek it. So the second thing I did to stop feeling socially anxious and become confident as a new immigrant student in a new country with new people was having set values and hobbies. And honestly, I just decided, wait, I actually like reading, I like to play guitar, and I like to strengthen my relationship with God, and I want to focus on my GCSEs, and I want to pass and all these things. I just realized what the actual thing I was doing was, you know, like realize what you're actually there for. And even if you're like anxious in like places with a lot of people, say you go to town and then there's a lot of people in town and you feel socially anxious, just realize, what am I actually here to do? I just came here to go to that shop, get this thing, and go my way, you know? And for me in school, I just realized, oh, I'm here and I want to focus on my GCSEs, I want to get a good career, and I want to play guitar, and I want to read books because I want to extend my knowledge, and I want to do all this. Right now, you need to realize that if you put your mind on something, you will distract yourself from the things that actually break you, from social anxiety, from the need to fit in. Focus on your goals, focus on your GCSEs, focus on your relationship with God, focus on anything that you need to be focusing on to distract yourself from all that. And when you distract yourself from all of this, oh my days, I need to be this, I need to be this, I need to be perfect to do all that, you will find peace. You will actually be peaceful. You will be at that point where you're like, I don't even care if they're laughing, if they're doing all that, if people look that way, you won't even look with them because you're focused on what you're doing, you know, you're focused on you. So you need to focus on yourself and the things you can do, your skills, to sharpen them, to actually value yourself. Doing things that you should be doing makes you feel less socially anxious because you're giving yourself value. You know, like the first thing that I talked about was the need to be validated, and the need to be validated comes from the reason from not so validating, because you don't have the value to self-validating yourself. So put in yourself some value, that when you're like in the midst of people, you can be like, you know what, I don't have friends, but at least I can play the piano. You know, give yourself something to hang on, you know, something to know about yourself, something to be grateful to yourself about, something to applaud yourself, you know, that you don't need to be applauded by other people because you know that you worked hard to achieve it and you did it. The third thing that made me lose my social anxiety was work on my mindset. And I talk about this a lot because I believe it. Your mindset is everything about you. If you can't change it, then you have a lot of work to do. You mean, like, you can't do anything if you're not in the mind space to do it. So what I mean by this is that, like, you need to realize that the things you think about most of the times are what happen. They're actually what happened. Like, I'll give you an example. You know, like when you have a crush. Yeah, when you have a crush on someone, it's not that you're physically connected to this person. You saw them and you thought, they're pretty cute. And you just thought that once, but then when you went your way, you thought about them more times, more and more. You start to think about them. Like when you wake up, you think about them. In the afternoon, you think about them. At night, you think about them. Every time you see them, you're like, oh my days, you know, like, so you start to form a crush because you're thinking about them most of the times, and you're romanticizing them in your head. It's not like you know this person. You're romanticizing them in your head. Like your head can actually make you believe things about someone that you never saw. You believe that they're so amazing, that they're this, that they're that, that they're that. Every time you see this person, your physical body is going to start to respond. That's why when you see them, you feel butterflies. And I'm like, oh, they give me butterflies. Oh, I feel butterflies. That's because you told your mind so. You told your mind that you liked them. You told your mind that you had a crush on them, and now you do. It's not that it actually is, but you told yourself so. And when you stop telling yourself that, it goes. I know you've actually experienced this before. You have seen how it goes when you stop romanticizing them. That's why people go like, oh, romanticize study, romanticize this, because it works. When you romanticize something, you will believe it and it will become real to you. Your conscious will perceive it as reality. So that's why I think you should change your mindset. Think the positive things about yourself the most. If you have something good about yourself, say you're really smart, think that you're smart all the time, and the way you do your things are going to align with the things you think about yourself the most. Because I told you again that your mental, your conscious state is gonna show in your physical state with the butterflies analogy. So if you think that you're smart, you're gonna find yourself doing more smart things. Or let's say you're really shy, and then you tell yourself, no, I'm actually confident. And it's not that you're even lying to yourself. There are times you've acted confident. There are times you have done something out of your way and done it in confidence. So you will believe, you need to believe something about yourself that way. I'm confident. I'm really confident. Then think about it over and over and over again. Like every time, think about your confidence, and then you will see that your physical self, your surroundings, you will start to do more confident things. The way you walk will change, the way you dress will change, the way you talk, you'll be more articulated because you believe you're confident. So you will do more confident things. And that is like another important thing. Do more things to justify the things you think about yourself, and they will multiply. Okay, when you start walking more confidently, you actually start to believe even more that you are confident. When you start to talk confidently, being more articulate, you will start to believe more that you're confident, and you will reach your goal. Another thing I needed to actually say was this one time when I was in PE. And we were playing netball, but I wanted to shoot it like a basketball because I'd just been learning how to shoot more properly, right? So I take the ball and I'm trying to shoot, and every time it's failing. I tried like 15-20 times and I failed every single time. It wasn't even near, like the ball wasn't even going in. I was failing. But then I took the ball one last time and I said to myself, I'm not a failure. I can do this. And I position myself properly. I hold it like you're supposed to. Like you're supposed to hold a basketball like this, right? And I do exactly what I meant to do. I like follow through a bit, twist my angle, and it goes in. Yes, it goes in. Am I making sense? And that's the fourth thing I did. The last thing I did, and I knew. Anyways, the last thing I did to become more confident, to change my reality, to make my life better for myself, and become more confident like I am now, was using my anxiety to my advantage. It showed me the things about myself that needed to change. It helped me to see my flaws and where I was lacking and pushed me to do better every day. And day in, day out, I try to overcome the things about myself that I don't like, that I know definitely need to change if I want to reach where I'm going. And you need to try and overcome those hurdles that are stopping you, that you know are going to inhibit your success, and know that you will overcome them. And another thing, I believe in you, and I actually do. I'm not just saying, because you believe in yourself. And to prove that, you would have never clicked on this video if you didn't believe that you could change the socially anxious part of you. You had at least a tiny bit of hope that this video would help you, and maybe you could change your social anxiety, or you could change your life, or you could change your confidence position. Like, you knew that somewhere, something, maybe this video would help you, and that is enough belief to do what we're meant to do here. So I believe in you, and I know that you can do it. So use your anxiety to your advantage. Change the things about you don't want. Change your style if you never actually thought about the way you're presenting yourself. You know, become confident if you see that, wait, I'm actually not confident. You know, use it to identify the elements that you need to sharpen. So sometimes you need it. It's not completely a bad thing to have it. Sometimes it's actually showing you that you are not on the right path. So sometimes you need it, and sometimes use it. But then when it's getting too much, because too much of anything is bad, and when it's getting too much, that's when you need to cut down on it. That's when you need to show it who's boss, okay, in this life and whatever. And I advocate for these things because I believe that life should be taken, like, every moment with appreciation, because there'll be a time when me, we're old, and I want to avoid that kind of regret, like, where you think, damn, if I just worked on that about myself, how would I have led my life? Like, is your life gonna be memorable for you on your deathbed? Are you gonna think, I did my best? Because we don't want you to be thinking, oh, my limbs are now all weak, I can't do anything. But when you could do something, you didn't do it. Right now you're strong, your bones work, your brain works, everything about you works. Use it to the maximum. Use it to do the best you can, to do everything in your power to actually live this life, because it's just one, it's not coming back. It needs to be done right. It needs to be done right, and that should be your life's purpose, okay, if you needed that. So you're lucky that you're still here, and you can still change, and you can still, well, whatever. And guys, with that, this video comes to an end. Thank you so much for watching. If you reached the end, like, thank you, and please leave a like, and please leave a like to show appreciation for these kind of videos, guys, because I need motivation to keep going. If you guys like these videos, and leave a comment as well to let me know, like, what you think about it. And as always, guys, reach your maximum. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.